What's going on, guys? It's Greg here, aka NYPrepper. It is Monday, December 15th, 2025, and I have some breaking news to share with you guys. Right now, it is 14:27 Eastern Time here in the United States, and we have some major breaking news coming in from here in the US. So, the FBI stopped a planned series of bombings in Los Angeles and Orange County, California for New Year's Eve, according to Attorney General Pam Bondi. Apparently, four alleged members of a radical far left extremist group were arrested. According to the FBI, they were allegedly planning coordinated bombing attacks on New Year's Eve using improvised explosive devices targeting 5 separate locations across Los Angeles. Wow. Okay, so remember in my prior update, I told you guys to be on high alert. I told you to be aware of your surroundings, that more of these types of attacks are going to happen as we get into the holiday season. Remember that yesterday was the first day of Hanukkah. We had the attack in Australia, and then we also had the attack in Providence, Rhode Island. Now, I'm going to give you guys updates on those, but then we also have this incident where apparently these pro-Palestinian far-left, they're calling them the TILF, is the name of the group, TILF, were arrested for planning to bomb multiple targets on New Year's Eve. I told you guys to be alert on New Year's Eve if you're going out in public anywhere, places like New York City, any kind of big public gatherings, okay? Remember a couple months ago, that memo that was circulated by the U.S. government talking about Islamic terror attacks during the holiday season? Well, it looks like it's happening now. The FBI said that the 4 members of the group were arrested in Lucerne Valley, where they were believed to be preparing to test explosive devices ahead of the planned attacks. They have been charged with conspiracy and possession of a destructive device. The FBI said Monday that a 5th individual believed to be connected to the same extremist group was also arrested in New Orleans for allegedly planning a separate attack. So this is just the beginning, guys. We're going to see more of this type of stuff, and I'm going to be updating you guys as best as I can. And remember, I do have a 24/7 live stream, so when things go down, I do try to update people live. And we also have U.S. nuclear forces on high alert for some reason. Yesterday, there were 51 nuclear codes transmitted by the U.S. military. These codes are known as the emergency action messages. These are nuclear targeting codes. Typically, you may hear 10 or 20 at most on an average day. Yesterday, we had 51, and then on Friday, we had over 60, okay? So something is definitely going on, and right now we have 2 U.S. nuclear bombers airborne over Louisiana, and we also have 2 sub-hunters off the coast of Florida for some reason, doing some very intense patrolling here just off the coast of Orlando. And I wanted to update you guys on 3I Atlas, the interstellar object. It's preparing to make its closest approach to Earth this week on December 19th. That's Friday. It's being monitored not just by space agencies, but also by the United Nations. And this update was sponsored by EMP Shield. Guys, EMP Shield has created a special discount just for you, the listeners of the NYPrepper channel. If you go to empshield.com and use the promo code NYPrepper, you can get 15% off your entire order. And why do you need an EMP Shield? Well, this is a special device to protect your vehicle, your RV, your solar generators, your radios from an electromagnetic pulse, which could be caused by a solar flare or potentially a rogue country like North Korea detonating an electromagnetic pulse weapon over the United States that's mounted onto a satellite. So protect your vehicles, protect your RV, protect your radios, protect your generators with an EMP shield. Use my promo code NYPrepper to get 15% off. Installation is super simple. This is a veteran-owned business, 100% American-made, and the EMP shields have been tested by the military, okay? And free shipping is included to the entire continental United States. And the link and the promo code are in the description below this video. The object, which will come within roughly 167 million miles or 270 million kilometers of our planet, will be tracked by telescopes around the world so astronomers can pinpoint its location and make predictions about future objects like it. So remember, about a week ago, it was reported that this object released some kind of radio signal, and it was not known to be any kind of human radio signal or any kind of signal that would come from, let's say, the release of gases or things like that from comets traversing through space, okay? And a lot of people were comparing it to the WOW signal, okay, which was captured by SETI a long time ago. But what's very interesting about this 3-eye atlas is that it made a U-turn near the sun. Okay, it passed by Mars and it went all the way to the sun, and then it did a U-turn, and now it's coming back the way it came in from. Okay, it's not behaving like a traditional comet. Okay, comets usually go in one direction. They don't make U-turns. This thing came through our solar system, passed by Mars, went to the sun, did a U-turn near the sun, and now it's coming back the way it came, almost like it did a big reconnaissance pattern of our solar system. It came in, it observed all of the planets, Mars, Earth, and the sun. Most importantly, it seems like it went straight to the sun. If there was some intelligent life on this thing, they would obviously want to check out our sun, because they would know that that's the source of life in the solar system. And now they're coming back and passing by that shiny blue planet, the only good-looking planet in the whole solar system. They're going to pass by and take a look at us now. And also, we have this Venezuelan government VIP plane that flew from Caracas to Colombia and then flew back from Colombia. This was earlier this morning. Very interesting. And there was a person of interest in the Brown University mass shooting. He was a U.S. Army veteran, but he was released by police yesterday. Turns out that that was not the shooter, okay? And they're saying that the gunman is still at large. They have no idea if the gunman left Rhode Island or not. They don't have any security camera footage from inside of Brown University, and they know exactly where the shooting took place. It took place at the physics building. I would imagine that at least one camera would be able to have some footage of the shooting taking place. Find it very odd that not even one video of the shooting came out, okay? Any modern university has hundreds of security cameras. Just doesn't make any sense to me, okay? And we're hearing that the attack in Australia involved a father and son who had an ISIS flag in their car. Okay, so these were Islamic radicals in Australia that attacked Jewish people on the beach. And Israeli intelligence is saying that Iran is a prime suspect in the Bondi Beach attack. Also, authorities in Australia confirmed that 2 active IEDs were found at Bondi Beach. It's likely that the bombs malfunctioned and that the massacre could have been much worse. And now the Australian Prime Minister, Anthony Albanese, is saying that his government is considering stricter gun laws. Guys, Australia has the strictest gun laws in the world, in addition to the UK. And obviously it didn't do anything to stop this active shooting situation where the gunman literally used long guns, okay? And Australia has the strictest gun laws in the world. and it's still not good enough for them, but obviously it doesn't work. Okay, gun laws like this do not work. Extreme gun laws don't work. Okay, it's been proven over and over. Look at Rhode Island. Rhode Island is a liberal state, very tough gun laws, and active shooter. Did that help? No. Did the gun-free school zones help any of these active shooting situations? No. And U.S. President Donald Trump said that the U.S. will retaliate against ISIS after the 2 U.S. soldiers and a civilian were shot and killed in Syria in an ISIS attack. So this is just the beginning, guys. We're going to see more and more attacks as the holidays progress, the holiday season progresses, and as we get into 2026, I think this is going to be a new threat. And some of them could be organic and actually real terror attacks. But I also think that a lot of Western governments are going to be exploiting these terror attacks and possibly staging them, manufacturing artificial attacks for the purposes of gun control and Big Brother. I mean, just look at the Patriot Act after 9/11. That's when all of the domestic surveillance that we now have, the domestic surveillance apparatus that we now have, where your emails are monitored, text messages are monitored, your search history is monitored, and it all goes into a data center in Utah, where they have a massive supercomputer that can filter through all this data from every single American, every email, every text message, every Google search, Facebook posts, everything, Instagram posts. It's all fed to this massive supercomputer that filters through everything, looks for patterns, and then they're going to deploy AI to manage all of that. Okay, so that could be an excuse. All these attacks could be an excuse for governments to increase surveillance of their people and take rights away, take freedoms away, like the right to keep and bear arms. Okay. And I want to just update you guys on Venezuela. So we're hearing that Trinidad and Tobago have authorized U.S. military planes to use their airports. The government of Trinidad and Tobago has granted authorization for the transit of U.S. military aircraft through the Piarco and Robinson International airports in the coming weeks. Very interesting. And I want to remind you guys that a lot of international airlines have canceled their flights to Venezuela through the rest of the year. As far as I know, those cancellations are still there, okay? And no planes are flying to Venezuela at all. And the U.S. Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth and Secretary of State Marco Rubio are scheduled to provide a classified briefing to the Senate on Tuesday at 10 a.m. regarding the ongoing military buildup and activity in the Southern Caribbean. And we know that they did give a briefing to the Gang of Eight a week ago. Now they're going to be briefing the Senate. So that's big news, okay? And I want to update you guys on the situation in Ukraine. Ukrainian forces have destroyed a Russian submarine for the first time ever using sea drones. The submarine carried missiles that Russia used to attack Ukraine and was worth $500 million. Wow. And U.S. officials told Reuters that Trump is satisfied with the results of the Ukraine-U.S. negotiations in Berlin. 90% of the issues have already been resolved. Interesting. And German Chancellor Friedrich Merz stated that the U.S. and EU countries have agreed to provide legal security guarantees to Ukraine similar to NATO. Interesting. And a U.S. official told Reuters that Article 5-like security guarantees are something that Trump believes he can get Russia to accept. Trump is also focused on stopping the Russians from moving further west in Ukraine. And apparently a final decision on territory will be up to Ukraine. So this is what a U.S. official told Reuters. We know that Witkoff and Kushner have been meeting with Zelensky and the Europeans to discuss the peace proposal. And Russia indicated that they're open to Ukraine joining the European Union as part of a potential peace deal to end the war. And there was a big drone attack on the capital of Russia, Moscow. Last night, there were explosions heard in the outskirts of Moscow. Airports were closed. And we're hearing that Germany plans to send its military personnel to Poland to help Poland prepare their defenses in the eastern part of Poland on the border with Belarus and Russia. So German soldiers will be assisting Polish soldiers, the Polish military, in building their massive defense line, the largest defense line in Europe since World War II, since the Maginot Line. Okay. And last night, Ukrainian HIMARS attacked Russia in the city of Belgorod. Partial power outages were reported. We're hearing that Zelensky has ordered the development of a law that would allow elections to be held during martial law. So Ukraine is still under a state of emergency, and because of that, their laws do not allow for elections during a state of emergency. So Zelensky is going to draft a law so this way they can hold elections, so Zelensky can put to bed all the criticism of him that he doesn't want to have elections because he's afraid he's going to get voted out. And Turkey's Ministry of Defense released a statement announcing the shoot down earlier of an unidentified drone approaching Turkish airspace over the Black Sea by an F-16 of the Turkish Air Force. Interesting. We don't know if it was Russian or Ukrainian or what. And the White House reportedly privately criticized Netanyahu after Israel killed a senior Hamas commander in Gaza recently, saying the strike violated the U.S. brokered ceasefire. The White House warned Netanyahu he was undermining both the ceasefire and Trump's credibility as its broker. Israel carried out the strike Saturday without notifying Washington. Wow. And soldiers with the Thai army in Thailand reportedly captured several Chinese-made GAM-102LR fire and forget anti-tank missiles, including a command and launch unit in service with the Cambodian army. So China is giving Cambodia weapons to fight against Thailand because Cambodia is a communist country, okay? So they're giving them rockets, anti-tank missiles, and all kinds of things. And China is making a major move to control the global gold market, spending $1 billion on Brazilian mines, according to Bloomberg. The Chinese company, the CMOC Group, one of China's largest mining conglomerates, announced the acquisition of the Brazilian business Equinox Gold Group for $1 billion. So the Chinese want the gold in South America. There is a lot of gold in the Amazon basin. There's also a lot of gold in the Congo, and China has already been mining for gold in Africa, and looks like they're now interested in South America. So this is very, very concerning. But that's the latest breaking news that I have. I might be back later on tonight with some live coverage. And until later on, take care, God bless, and don't forget the 3 Ps: prepare, practice, and persevere.